Hello, people. I just thought I'd just share a little thought with you. I kind of came across with an adult student yesterday when they came up for their lesson, and that is kind of paradigms and underlying assumptions. So obviously, I don't want to go kind of sounding too kind of philosophical, but we were kind of. I had an adult student in for a lesson yesterday. Absolutely brilliant guy, and he's been having lessons for just over a year. And we started talking a little bit about goals and, you know, kind of what we're able to do, what are our limitations, that kind of thing. And we kind of came to a bit of an agreement that there's very often kind of an underlying assumption when an adult student takes up lessons. This happened with children as well, but I think this is probably a bit more commonplace with adults in this way. That when they take up lessons, they'll do something like they'll start on acoustic. And they'll come to the lesson with kind of, you know, the goal is, you know, I learned some chords when I was younger. I never really quite took it up properly. I'll just be happy if I can strum Knocking on Heaven's Door by the end of the year. And, you know, if I can play a couple of songs at Christmas time or something like that and learn a couple of melodies, you know, that kind of thing. And, you know, I realised that the maybe as a teacher, I'm also starting off adult students with this kind of assumption because you know, maybe logistically you know that their lessons are going to only carry on for a finite amount of time. You know, adults do tend to have a much lower retention than children. You know, I have children that come to me now for over a decade for lessons, whereas actually currently my record for an adult student I think is about 4 years, I think. But you know, generally they tend to come for like 6 months, a year, something like that. So we got kind of talking about actually what is it that you want to be able to do instead of what is it that you think that you're able to do. And you know, by the end of the lesson, the guy was kind of saying like, you know, what I really love is basically to be standing on stage with a huge guitar amp, electric guitar. And, you know, the feedback ringing out the amp and basically letting rip like Jimmy Page. And they said, right, bring your electric guitar next week. Let's start heading towards that. And, you know, so I guess to conclude this little chat is people, whatever you're doing, whatever your age is, whatever your ability is, whatever your background is, there is no limitation. And, you know, the sky, it might sound a bit cheesy, but the sky's the limit. And it's only to do with your mindset and what you genuinely believe or even assume that you can achieve. That's all I've got to say.